Today we are going to discuss about carcinoma of tongue. Last class we discussed about last two classes the benign disease of the oral cavity, then carcinoma of lip and carcinoma of cheek. Today we are going to discuss about carcinoma of the tongue. See, anatomy of the tongue. Tongue is a muscular organ located in the floor of the mouth. Parts, there are three parts: tip, root and the body. First one, tip. Tip is the anterior, free and lies behind the upper incisor teeth, and root. Root is attached to the mandible above and hyoid bone below. Body. The dorsal surface is through due to the papillae as divided into anterior two-third and posterior two-third. See this one. This one is anterior two-third, what we are seeing, and what we are palpate, that is the posterior one-third. The is divided by the sulcus terminale. Anterior one two-third and posterior one-third is divided by the sulcus terminalis. Ventral surface is smooth and has a median fold. It is called frenulum linguale and deep lingual vein either side. See, this is the picture is showing that middle one is body and the apex of the tongue and it is base. See, the red one is showing that sulcus terminalis, that is a V shape. It is dividing the anterior two-third and posterior one-third. And the papillae are four types: and filiform lingual papillae, circumvallate papillae, and fungiform median lingual sulcus. See, the median lingual sulcus. Median lingual sulcus is divided body to right and left. The sulcus terminalis is divided into anterior two-third and posterior one-third. It will be in the UV shape. See, three parts. Tip. Anterior free hand lies behind to the upper incision of teeth. This one, tip of the tongue. Then root. It is attached to a mandible above and hyoid bone below. And the body. See, divided into anterior two-third and posterior one-third. Only anterior two-third is visible part. What we are seeing, that is called anterior two-third. And posterior one-third can be palpated. Muscles of the tongue. There are two types: intrinsic muscles and extrinsic muscles. Intrinsic muscles, there are four muscles, and extrinsic is the four muscles. The intrinsic muscles, one is superior longitudinal, second one is inferior longitudinal, and transverse and vertical. See, superior longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, transverse and vertical. These are the four muscles. These are intrinsic muscles. And extrinsic muscles. This is gingioglossals, hyoglossus, styloglossus, and palatoglossus. See, intrinsic muscles and extrinsic muscles. Intrinsic muscle. Here the superior one. This is the superior longitudinal, and the below one is vertical, and the next one is transverse. It will be like a transverse and inferior longitudinal. These are the four muscles: superior longitudinal, vertical, transverse, and inferior longitudinal. These are called intrinsic muscles. See, two types of muscles: intrinsic and extrinsic. In intrinsic, it is four types: super longitudinal, inferior longitudinal, and vertical, and the transverse. And the extrinsic. Extrinsic is genioglossus, and myeloglossus, and hyoglossus, styloglossus, palatoglossus. These are the extrinsic muscles. Four intrinsic and four extrinsic muscles. Movements of the tongue: forward movement, backward movement, and elevation of the tongue and depression of the tongue. Forward movement, which muscle is useful? This is genioglossus, most commonly affected by the carcinoma. Forward protrusion, it is by genioglossus. It is mostly affected by the carcinoma. And backward movement, tongue will go backward movement. It is a styloglossus. And elevation of the tongue upward, that is called palatoglossus. And depression of the tongue, that is called hyoglossus. See, four movements: forward protrusion, backward, and elevation, and the depression. Forward protrusion, it is called genioglossus. Genioglossus is a mostly affected by the carcinoma. And backward is styloglossus. And elevation, for elevation of the tongue, for palatoglossus. And high depression, this is called hyoglossus. These are the movements of the tongue. In these movements, the forward movement is mostly affected by the carcinoma. In this muscle, genioglossus. Backward for styloglossus. And elevation for the palatoglossus, and depression for hyoglossus. These are the muscles. Extrinsic and intrinsic. Extrinsic are 4 muscles and intrinsic are 4 muscles. These are the muscle movements. Blood supply. Blood supply is a lingual artery. It's a branch of external carotid artery. Tongue blood supply is from the lingual artery. It is a branch of external carotid artery. Then venous drainage by the deep lingual vein which drains into the facial veins or interjugular veins. Lymphatic drainage. Tip of the tongue drains bilaterally to the submantle. See, the tip of the tongue is drained to the submantle here. Right and left halves of the anterior two-third drains respective to the submandibular nodes. Centrally located region may drains bilaterally to deep cervical nodes. And posterior one-third drains to the upper deep cervical nodes bilaterally. See, the tip is drains to the submantle and anterior two-third right and left halves is supplied to the submandibular nodes. Centrally located region by drains bilaterally by two deep cervical nodes and posterior one-third. Posterior one-third drains to upper deep cervical nodes bilaterally. This is called jugulodigastric. The whole network finally drains to the into the jugular-homohyoid. See, tip submantle, anterior two-third, right and left halves. It is right and left half is anterior to the drains to respective submandibular nodes and centrally located region may drains to the bilaterally deep cervical nodes and posterior one-third drains to the upper deep cervical nodes bilaterally. The whole network may finally drains into the jugular-homohyoid. This is called lymphatic drainage. Blood supply over, lymphatics over. Then motor supply and sensory supply. All muscles except palatoglossal is supplied by the hypoglossal nerve. Palatoglossal is supplied by the accessory nerve. See, all muscles is supplied by hypoglossal nerve except palatoglossal. Palatoglossal is supplied by the accessory nerve. This is called motor supply. Then we will come for the sensory supply. Sensory supply, lingual nerve is for general sensation, chorda tympani, taste sensation of for anterior two-third, chorda tympani, and glossopharyngeal nerve, both general sensation and taste of the posterior one-third, and vagus posterior most part of the tongue through the internal laryngeal nerve. See, motor supply and sensory supply. Motor supply, all muscles is by the hypoglossal nerve, except palatoglossus. Palatoglossus is supplied by the accessory nerve. And you come to the sensory. Sensory, it is called lingual nerve for the general sensation and chorda tympani for the taste sensation of anterior two-third and glossopharyngeal nerve, both general sensation and taste of the posterior one-third. Vagus, it is the posterior most part of the tongue through the internal laryngeal nerve. See, the right side it is showing that palatoglossal nerve, it is vagus nerve and other muscle nerves are the hypoglossal nerve, motor nerves and the sensory. See, that is the anatomy is over. Anatomy, we divide it into 3 parts. One is tip, root and the body. Body, it is 2 types, anterior two-third and posterior one-third. It is divided by the sulcus terminale. It will be in the V shape. See the sulcus terminale. And divided into anterior two-third, posterior. Anterior two-third, what we are seen. Posterior one-third, what we are palpated. Muscles, intrinsic muscles and extrinsic muscles. Intrinsic muscles, superior, inferior, transverse and vertical. And extrinsic muscles, it is a genioglossus, hyoglossus, tyloglossus and palatoglossus. Movements, forward movement, backward and elevation, depression. For forward movement, genioglossus, it is mostly affected by the carcinomas. Backward movement for styloglossus, elevation by the palatoglossus and depression by the hyoglossus. See, now we are coming to the carcinoma of tongue. It is incidence is equally in both sexes. Incidence is increased in females due to the increase in the female smokers. Etiological factors, as for oral carcinoma, last class what we discussed, one is leukoplakia, it's most common, and erythroplakia, it is more malignant, and all SS. What are the SS? Smoking, spirit, sepsis, syphilis, sharp tooth, and spicy foods. For all SS, one is smoking, spirits, sepsis, syphilis, sharp tooth, and spicy foods. These are all SS for etiological factors for the oral carcinomas and tongue. And pre-malignant conditions, human papilloma virus and epistatin virus. See, pre-malignant conditions and lesions. What are the lesions and what are the conditions? What are the pre-malignant lesions? Leukoplakia, erythroplakia, chronic hyperplastic candidiasis. These are the lesions. Then what are the conditions? Oral submucosal fibrosis, siderophonic dysphagia, and syphilitic glossitis. These are the etiological factors. One is leukoplakia, erythroplakia, pre-malignant conditions, and epistatin human papilloma virus, epistatin virus. All SS. Smoking, spirit, syphilis, sepsis, sharp tooth, and spicy food. These are all SS for etiological factors for oral carcinomas. And pre-malignant lesions and conditions. Types. There are 4 types. One is papillary, second is ulcerative or ulceroproliferative. It is a 60% of most carcinomas. Fissure with induration, lobulated and indurated mass. It is a frozen tongue. See 4 types: papillary, ulcerative or ulceroproliferative, fissure with induration, lobulated or indurated mass. This is frozen tongue. These are the 4 types. Grass. And histologically, most common type is squamous cell carcinoma. Adenocarcinoma, it is a rare type from minor salivary glands or mucous glands. Most common is squamous cell carcinoma. And mellomas, lymphoepithelioma rarely can occur posterior 1/3 of the tongue. These are the 4 types: squamous cell carcinoma, adenocarcinoma, melanoma, and lymphoepithelioma. This is a rare type occur in the posterior 1/3. Squamous cell carcinoma is the most common type. This will ask you in the entrance examinations also. Squamous cell carcinoma is the most common type of the oral carcinoma. Sites. What are the most sites? Lateral margin. Commonest, it is up to 47 to 50%. Lateral margins. See sites. And posterior third, 20%. Dorsum of the tongue, 6.5%. And ventral surface is 9%. Tip is 10%. The most common part is lateral margins. It is a commonest and 47 to 50%. See, the lateral margins is showing ulcers and the last week is showing in the dorsum of the tongue. Clinical features. What are the clinical features? Etiology over types, and it is a papillary, ulcer and ulceroproliferative, fissure with induration, lobulated and indurated mass. And histologically, squamous cell carcinoma, adenocarcinoma, melanoma, lymphoepithelioma. Sites: lateral margin, posterior third, dorsum, ventral, and tip. The clinical features. What are the clinical features? First, it is a painless ulcer or swelling in the tongue, which laterally may become painful. Pain of the tongue due to the infection or necrosis or ulceration due to the involvement of lingual nerve. Sometimes its pain is referred to the ear also. First clinical feature is ulcer. First it is painless. Second, it's next is going to be painful due to the infection and ulceration. It infected to the lingual nerve. Then pain on swallowing in case of carcinoma of the posterior 1/3. Then excessive salivation. Saliva is often blood stained. Dysphagia is due to the fixed tongue or due to the involvement of the genioglossus or growth in the posterior third of the tongue. Then visible ulcers in the anterior 2/3 of the tongue. Ulcers can be bleed on touch. Edge, base and surrounding area are indurated. Often indurated area is much more extensive than a primary tumor. Edge is everted commonly. The ulcers is more across the midline. Most extend into the floor of the mouth, alveolus and mandible. The growth of ulcer is posterior third is usually not visible. Inability to articulate, halitosis, change in the voice occurs in the posterior third of the tumor, and palpable lymph nodes of the neck are the harder and nodules get fixed to underlying tissue and advanced stages. Movements of the tongue, especially forward protrusion, is commonly affected. That is called ankylosis. See clinical features. First, you remember it is a ulcer or swelling. First it is painless, then it became painful. Why it is painful? It is due to the infection or ulcerative tissue or due to the inguinal nerve involvement. Then pain on swallowing. Why? It is affected to the posterior one-third. Then excessive salivation. The saliva is contents often blood stained. Then dysphagia. Why dysphagia? The posterior one-third of the tongue is involved. The tumor are fixed. Dysphagia means it is a difficulty in the swallowing. Then visible ulcers. Visible ulcers, how? It is an anterior two-third, but posterior two-third, the ulcers are not visible. The ulcers will be indurated and the edges will be everted edges. It's commonly seen. And anterior two-third of the ulcers, if it is bleeds on the touch. Why? The carcinomas mostly bleeds on the touch. Then growth or ulcer on the posterior one are not visible. Then inability to articulate. Then halitosis is a bad smell due to the necrosis or infections. Okay. Then change in the voice. Why voice? It is occur in the posterior one-third. The tumor on the posterior one-third area. Then palpable lymph nodes. It is secondary lymph nodes. The neck is nodule, hard and fixed to the underlying tissue. First it is mobile and hard. Then when it is fixed, it is called advanced stage. It will be fixed to the underlying tissue. Then movements of the tongue, it's especially forward protrusion is commonly affected. This is called ankylosis. See, TNM staging, last class also we discussed T for tumor, N for nodes, and M for metastasis. T stage, tumor, T4, T1, it is less than 2 centimeter, and T2 to more than 2 centimeters, less than 4 centimeters, and T3, it is more than 4, less than 6 centimeters, and T4, tumor invades the adjacent tissue like skin or mandible. And regional lymph nodes. Regional lymph nodes, N1, it's a single ipsilateral lymph node less than 3 centimeters in greatest dimension. And N2, N2 is 3 stages, 2A, 2B, 2C. 2A, it is ipsilateral single lymph node more than 3 centimeters or less than 6 centimeters. And 2B, it is multiple single site ipsilateral lymph nodes none more than 6 centimeters. And 2C, it is multiple contralateral lymph nodes, it's not more than 6 centimeters. And M3, metastasis any lymph nodes more than 6 centimeters. Its M0 is no metastasis, M1 is evidence of distant metastasis. See, this is the stages. Stages, what are the stage 1? T1, N0, M0. What is T1? The tumor size is less than 2 centimeters. Stage 2, T2, N0, M0. What is T2? The size of the tumor is more than 2 centimeters and less than 4 centimeters. Stage 3, it is T3, N0, M0 or T1 or T2, T3, N1, M0. T3, it is more than 4 centimeters, less than 6 centimeters. And T3, about N1. N1 means what? It is a ipsilateral single lymph node less than 3 centimeters. And stage 4. Stage 4, we divide it into A, B, C. 4A, T4A. What is T? T1, T2, T4A. It is involved to the skin. And B, T any stage. And M3. M3 what? It is the lymph nodes more than 6 centimeters and it is fixed. And T4B, N0, M0. And for 4C, any M1 lesions. That means metastasis. Metastasis to the lung, bones, liver. This is the TNM staging and clinical features are over. Next, we are going to be discuss investigations. If it is a chronic ulcer, edge biopsy. For what? You have to know that whether it is the benign or the malignant. That is called edge biopsy. Then neck lymph nodes, palpable. Then we will go for the FNAC. FNA also, you will know that it is a benign or malignant or secondary nodes. Then indirect laryngoscopy. Anterior to that we can assess. If it is posterior lesions, we have to go for indirect laryngoscopy. Then CT, MRI for any extent lesion. For gold standard investigation is MRI. Before MRI, you don't go for edge biopsy. If you go for edge biopsy for primary lesions, the primary lesion disorientation will be present. Then if you are taking MRI, that the primary lesions will not identify properly. That's why before going MRI, before going edge biopsy, you have to go for MRI. Then X-ray. X-ray for any pneumonia and X-ray for skull to know that any mandibular extension is present or not. and secondary lesions is there or not in the lung. Okay, before going edge biopsy, you have to go for MRI because the primary lesion distortion will be present on edge biopsy. Then management, the principles of management treatment. See, surgery or radiotherapy, chemotherapy. If it is small lesions, you will go for wide local excision or radiotherapy. If it is a large lesions, both surgery and the radiotherapy. If the neck nodes are involved, then what are you going to modified radical neck dissection? Smaller lesions, whether you will go for surgery or radiotherapy. If it is a large lesions, combined of both surgery and the radiotherapy. If the neck nodes are involved, then we will go for the modified radical neck dissection. See, if the stages T1 to T2, either surgery or radiotherapy. This is the small lesions. Why T1 it is a less than 2 centimeters, T2 it is a more than 2 centimeters, less than 4 centimeters. T3, T4 combined of chemo and the surgery and radiotherapy. And M3 or M1 it is a palliative therapy. Palliative therapy, what is the palliative therapy? It will not give proper treatment, but it will give a symptomatic treatment. This is the palliative therapy T1, T2, and T4. See, surgery treatment, wide excision. The less than the tumor, it is less than 1 centimeter. You will go for the 1 centimeter margin, 1 centimeter clearance in the margin and depth. See, if it is a less than, next picture I am showing. See the first picture. It is the tumor is 1 centimeter. Then the clearance of the tumor around also 1 centimeter lesion, wide excision you have to do. See, wide excision with 1 centimeter clearance in margin and depth is done in tumor less than 1 centimeter in size or carcinoma in situ. Sometimes we'll go for laser can be used. If it is tumor less than 1 centimeter margin clearance we have to done. Wide local excision. Then next, the tumor is 1 to 2 centimeters. Then you have to go for clearance for up to 2 centimeters. From the margin with the removal of 1/3 of the anterior 2/3 of the tongue. See, if it is a less than 1 centimeter, you will go for 1 centimeter clearance, wide local excision. If it is 1 to 2 centimeters, you have to go for 2 centimeters margin clearance. See, the first picture is showing if it is a 1 centimeter, you will go for wide excision with 1 centimeter clearance. And the second one, if it is a tumor is 1 to 2 centimeters or more than 2 centimeters, you will go for wide excision with 2 centimeters clearance. See, if the tumor is more than 2 centimeters, hemiglossectomy is done with removal of anterior 2/3 of the tongue on the side of sulcus terminalis. See, this is the tumor more than 2 centimeters. The clearance is more than 2 centimeters, and we will go for hemiglossectomy of anterior 2/3 of the tongue on one side up to the sulcus terminalis. I already told you, sulcus terminalis will be present in the V shape. Up to sulcus terminalis, we have to remove that. This is called hemiglossectomy. See, if it is a 1 centimeter, less than 1 centimeter clearance, 1 to 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters clearance, and if it is more than 2 centimeters, we will go for the hemiglossectomy of the anterior 2/3, one side of the tongue, up to the sulcus terminalis. If it is a raw area, in this procedure can be kept. If it is small area, raw area, you can be left for procedure can be left alone when the area is wide, allowing granulate tissue. If it is a small one, then we will allow for the granulate tissue or heal by epithelialization. If the area is small like wide excision, it can be closed by primary suturing. And the wide area, if you go for the flaps or split thick thin grafting. See, if it is a raw area that is produced, can be left raw area, then we can left for the epithelialization or the into and granulation formation. If it is the area is small, after wide excision, you will go for the primary closure. If it is the raw area is the big one, then we will go for the flap or thick skin grafting. Flap, what we will go in pectoralis major muscle flap. See, wide excision is done when the growth is in the tip of the tongue. Growth at the tip of the tongue, we will go for wide excision. If large primary tumor can be given preoperative radiotherapy, then later hemiglossectomy. Why preoperative? If large tumor, we have to go for, we will not operate. The tumor is big one. Then we will give preoperative chemotherapy. For that, radiotherapy or chemotherapy. For that, we will regress the tumor size. Then we will operate. We'll go for the hemiglossectomy. Then same side palpable lymph nodes. Then go for radical neck block dissection. Modified radical neck dissection. And bilateral mobile lymph nodes. The same side will go for the modified radical neck dissection, and second side we will go for contralateral side, will go for the functional block dissection. See, wide excision is done growth of the tip of the tongue. If the large primary tumor, what we'll do if it is a primary tumor more than 4 centimeters or it's, then we'll go for, we can't operate. Then what we'll do, we'll go for preoperative chemotherapy or radiotherapy to regress the tumor size. Then we'll go for the surgery. Then if the lymph nodes are present on the same side, if it is the left side of the growth is present, the lymph nodes are the left side, then what will go for modified radical neck dissection. If the lymph nodes on the both side, contralateral side also present, the same side we will go for the modified radical neck dissection, and opposite side go for functional block dissection. And the posterior third growth can be, if the posterior third growth can be approached by lip split and mandible resection if the mandible involved. They have to be to total glossectomy, Kocher's approach. It is not done commonly due to the, here it is the morbidity and mortality rate is very high. And the speech, swallowing, aspiration and sepsis is present. If it is a posterior to the posterior one third, then we'll go for lip split and mandible resection. If the mandibular involvement, that is called Kocher's approach, but it is not advisable because is a morbidity and mortality is very high, and speech, swallowing, aspiration, sepsis problems also will occur. Then the procedure that, what is commando operation? What is commando operation? Commando operation is wide excision or hemiglossectomy or and hemimandibulectomy or radical neck dissection together called. See, if the tumor on the left side, what will happen? If it is a less than tumor, the tumor is involved, mandible is involved, then neck lymph nodes also present. Then if it is a less than 1 centimeter, you will go for 1 centimeter clear margins. If it is tumor more than 2 centimeters, you will go for hemiglossectomy. Then if it is a mandible involved, you will go for hemimandibulectomy. Then if it is a neck node involved, it is go for modified radical neck dissection. This is called commando operation. Then if the reconstruction is needed, then we will go for the delta pectoral flap, forehead flap, pectoralis major, muscle flap, and skin grafting, thick skin grafting. See here the surgeries. If it is a small raw area, then you will go for re-epithelialization, secondary healing. Then otherwise, if it is a primary, small excision, then we will go for the primary closure. Then it is a bigger one. Then we will go for the flaps. What are the flaps? Delta pectoral flap, forehead flap, and pectoralis major, muscle flap, or skin grafting. It is a thick skin grafting. What is commando operation? We will go for the hemiglossectomy, hemimandibulectomy, and modified radical neck dissection. This is called commando operation. Then what are the advantages of the surgery and disadvantage? So advantage, short-term complications, specimen available, complete for histopathological examination, and helps for planning of adjuvant therapy, and no radiation sequelae. And disadvantages, tissue and functional loss, morbidity is increased, mortality and bleeding, infection and disfigurement. Advantages, short time, and you will get a specimen for histopathological examination, helps the planning for adjuvant plan treatment, and no radiation exposure. And disadvantage, tissue and functional loss, and mortality, bleeding, infection and disfigurement. And radiotherapy, if it is a small primary tumor, curative radiotherapy will give. Large primary tumor, if you will give for reduce the tumor, then we will go for the surgery. And advanced stage, palliation, and secondary in the neck, palliation therapy, and post-operative radiotherapy, prevent the relapses. And again, recurrence will stop. And posterior third of the tongue, curative or palliative. Complications, loss of sensation like taste, trismus and ankylosing, and infection, pharyngeal and laryngeal edema, dermatitis, and skin infection. And chemotherapy, curative, neoadjuvant, and adjuvant, and concurrent, and palliative, recurrence, and metastatic. See here the regimen is present for chemotherapy, that is called Price-Hill regimen. Is commonly used drugs are methotrexate, vincristine, adriamycin, bleomycin, and marcaplopurine. See, this price hill regimen is old regimen. Nowadays, we are using that price hill regimen. Now we are using 5-fluorouracil and cisplatin. Now mostly we are giving for oral carcinoma of tongue. The price hill regimen is previously used. Why I am mentioning here is they will ask you in the NEET examination, entrance examination, they will ask you what is the treatment for regimen for oral tongue carcinoma. They will options like price hill regimen, you will have to tick for price hill regimen. But nowadays, we are not going to give price hill regimen. Now we are using 5-fluorouracil and cisplatin. Mostly we are giving these drugs. Price hill regimen, once again I am telling you, it is a old regimen. And prognostic factors. What are the prognostic factors? Increasing tumor thickness, more than 4 mm, poorly differentiated, high-grade tumors, perineural, vascular, and lymphatic invasion. What are the factors? And DNA polyp status such as carry worst prognosis, and Werner's carcinoma has better one. And stages. Stage 1, it is the prognosis is 80 to 90%. Stage 2, 70 to 80%. And stage 3, 30 to 50%. And stage 4, 20 to 30%. These are the prognostic factor. Prognosis. Stage 1, 80 to 90%. And stage 2, 70 to 80. Stage 3, 30 to 50%. And stage 4, 20 to 30%. These are the prognostic factors for carcinoma of the tongue. See, I finished the complete oral cavity benign diseases and the malignant diseases. What are the benign diseases? Ranula, glossitis, and erythroplakia, leukoplakia, submucal fibrosis. These everything will fall under benign conditions, and candidiasis. This everything will come under benign diseases. And carcinomas. What are the carcinomas? Lip, tongue, palate, and cheek. These are the carcinomas. We talk about the carcinomas lip. In lip, it is the lower lip is the most common for the carcinoma of the lip. It is more than 90%. And in India, most common carcinoma is oral cavity is cheek carcinoma, buccal carcinoma. And in Western countries, is most common is tongue carcinomas. Okay, in any carcinomas, etiological factors are tobacco and excess alcohol, tobacco and the lip, buccal mucosa, and oral carcinomas. Cheek carcinoma, the most common is all SS, spicy foods, smoking, spirits, and sharp tooth, and sepsis. These are the SS. And the quid users for oral carcinoma and cheek, the quid users are the most common. In that, night quid users are 30% of the carcinoma. And normal quid users is 10%, and smokers are 8% of the carcinoma factors. Okay, then what other factors? Then etiological factors, erythroplakia and leukoplakia, submucosal fibrosis, candidiasis, all are the lesions, submucosal lesions and conditions. These are the etiological factors, and we will go for the TNM staging. TNM staging, first before TNM, clinical features. What are the clinical features? So the lip is common, ulcer and growth. If it is ulcer, it is first is painless, and second it is going to be painful. Why? The infection and necrosis and the nerve involvement. These are the symptoms. Then halitosis will be present. Halitosis will be present, and feeling difficulty in swallowing. Everything are the clinical features. And TNM staging: T for tumor, N for nodes, and M for metastasis. T is 4 stages. T1 less than 2 centimeters. T2 less than more than 2 centimeters, less than 4 centimeters, and T3 it is more than 4 centimeters, then less than 6 centimeters. T4 invasion to the local tissues, whether the skin or mandible. Okay, and lymph nodes, N0 for no lymph nodes, N1 it is a ipsilateral single less than 3 centimeters in size, N2 it is a 3 types, A, B, C. A it is a ipsilateral single more than 3 centimeters in size, and B it is ipsilateral multiple lymph nodes none more than 6 centimeters, and N3C it is a contralateral none more than 6 centimeters, and the N3 it is a more than 6 centimeters, and it is fixed. And M0 is no metastasis, M1 is metastasis present. And this is the TNM staging. And next for your investigations, for any carcinomas, any ulcers, first we will go for the edge wedge biopsy. First, wedge biopsy and FNAC. If it is a neck nodes involvement, if we will go for the FNAC, then we will go for ultrasound of the neck. Then if neck nodes is present or not, and ultrasound of the neck, then FNAC for neck nodes and MRI, CT, then X-ray for pneumonia and X-ray of the skull for any involvement of the mandible is present or not. For here it is a gold standard investigation is MRI. Okay, before going MRA, before going edge biopsy only, we have to go for the MRA, because in edge biopsy, what will happen? You are disturbing the primary lesion. The distortion will be present in the MRA. That's why before going edge biopsy, you will go for MRA. In MRA, you will know that local extension and extensive lesions and the bone involvement. You will go for MRI and CT. And the treatment purpose here, the chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and the surgical purpose. And different types of surgeries will present. For lip is different, and the tongue is different, and if it is a cheek is different. For if it is a primary lesions, if it is a big lesions, first we will go for chemo or radiotherapy to regress the tumor, then we will go for the operate. Okay, then what is the command operation? We will go for, if it is a cheek, if it is a tongue, we will go for hemiglossectomy and hemimandibulectomy, then modify radical neck dissection. This is for command operation. Then what are the points? Okay, I finished my topics. And a mandibulectomy, there are two types: segmental, marginal mandibulectomy, and hemimandibulectomy, and complete mandibulectomy. These are mandibulectomy procedures. Okay, I finished my topic. If you have any doubts, ask me. Okay, thank you.